Beyonce versus Nicki Minaj. Oh my God. I just want to fade out of this. Let me fade out. I don't want none of this smoke. I don't want none of this smoke. Now, a lot of you probably just got here. Hit the like button, subscribe to the page. Yes, there will be a Patreon version. I get asked that all the time. Like, you need to make a Patreon version of this. So, I can't make Patreon versions of every single video I make. But I do it to some that I feel that we need to add on, or if I got to take stuff out of it because we want to make it this one. This is one that classifies as one of those videos that will be on Patreon. As the Patreon is loaded right now, and everybody is like mouths dropped with some of the stuff we've revealed. So we're proud of that, opening people's eyes to the truth. But let's get into this. Now, Nicki Minaj and Beyonce. A lot of y'all been going after Jay and saying Jay and Nicki got a problem, and Jay got a problem with Nicki and all of this, when the real thing stems from, it ain't really Jay. This is not really a Jay call. This is not really Jay's situation. This is a B situation. You know, and you thinking you can, you know, bump heads with Beyonce, and she met the other side of Beyonce. There's another side of Beyonce that a lot of other women, they know about because they out the business. You know, they doing something else. They ain't in this business no more. She done got rid of them. So she's somebody you better not mess with if you want to talk about surviving in the game. And Nicki thought she was big enough to, you know, say anything, just like B is just somebody, just another artist. And she's got enough weight in the game where she could say some things like that to her. And at the time, Nicki was that girl, you know, she was the top female rapper at that time. But you don't mess with Beyonce. You don't mess with Beyonce. She took the top off the Maybach. Woo! You better be careful. She took the top off the Maybach. So now she ain't the old Beyonce that used to be with Destiny Child. Now she this Gucci mama.
Get the haters, get your money, get my weight up, know when I'm lying, know when I'm lying. It's like you got it, down to a science. Why am I trying? No, you ain't one.
Nicki can hold on the mic. Now, that's what I'm saying. Nicki can hold her own on the mic with her stage presence and her performances. Now, with that being said, let's get to the full gist of what all of this is about. Because I want to be clear to the people. Now, when they came out with I'm Feeling Myself, Nicki was the biggest thing around. Okay, in 2015, there was no Meg Thee Stallion, there was no Lotto, there wasn't none of these other people that were like Nicki clones just popped out of nowhere. Like, all these people were gone. Nicki was a clone of Lil' Kim. And here she is now replaced Lil' Kim. So now she's out there doing it. Now, all of a sudden, she's the biggest thing ever. She started doing the crossover, super bass, and, you know, doing songs with Ariana Grande and all that. So now Beyonce's like, okay, she's gonna pop. We can do some songs with her and work with Nicki. So when Jay was like, yo, I'm gonna be like moving Beyonce into a more, you know, ratchet type of Beyonce. So she's more street. She's got to connect to the urban market because they thinking she's getting too white. So we can't have Beyonce getting too white. So we gotta like make her a little hood, bring her back to the hood. So we gonna use you. You know, you kind of show her how to be ratchet. So now you're in a situation where these two women are having a great time getting along, and then all of a sudden, Cardi B happens. Cardi B happens. Cardi starts showing up and blowing up. And once that happened, and back to back happened, and her and Meek Mill happened, then all of a sudden, a whole lot of changes started. Nicki Minaj was one of the people that joined with Jay-Z to form Tidal. When Beyonce and Jay came out with Tidal, they talked to her and she had a meeting. She decided to be one of the artists to move her songs and everything over to Tidal. She was one. She thought she was the one that was going to be with Jay and all of them. She was like, okay, I'm cool with this. I'm under their umbrella. Like, they finna, like, guide me. Like, manage. Like, Rock Nation type manage. You know, like, she was like, okay, this is gonna be like the new team. So she already see, well, Lil Wayne wants to go there. So Wayne trying to go over there with Jay. So she thinking, okay, this is where the movement is, you know, to get this management team, this super team behind me, and we gonna go to the next level. So this Tidal thing gonna blow. We gonna get our money. So she thinks she's part of the family. Like, this is it. She had no idea Jay was gonna sell the company to a bunch of white folks and do what he always do, and then everybody get broke off some money, and then that's it. It's over. So they had no idea that part was coming. Now, going to the gist of it, I remember when I was first talking about this about 3 years ago when this was breaking out. Her and Meek Mill was going through a terrible breakup. Meek Mill, that back-to-back had screwed him all the way up. Nicki was the hottest thing in the game. She was about 4 times the level of the worth of a Meek Mill. And she's carrying him. Now, they knew what was going on as far as Jay and Beyonce with Meek Mill and her. Even though they took a picture together and posed, Nicki know, and they know that he's abusive towards Nicki. You know, that's what Nicki was saying. Like, this dude's abusive to me, and y'all know it. Now, she saw how Jay acted towards Rihanna and went to protect Rihanna, and she didn't get the same love because Meek is his artist. So now it's a whole different field. So they go into this, oh, don't do that. We're going to handle this how we handle it behind the scenes. You know, now you don't have to be with them no more. It's over. You know, that whole thing is over and all this. So she was alluding to the fact that one of the guys she used to date was abusive to her. Next thing you know, everybody figured out it was Meek. So Meek starts seeing this on social media and starts like, hey man, look man, I don't need all this stuff on my head, you know, so I don't even know what type of game you playing, man. I'm gonna send my lawyers on you. I'm gonna get a cease and desist on you. So right away, Nicki was coming out with a documentary. Rock Nation blocked that immediately. Now, it got even worse because not only did they do that, they were showing so much support and love for somebody who wasn't a Rock Nation artist. Beyonce was shown all loving on Cardi B, and it was all about Cardi at this time. So she felt slighted. She felt really slighted. Like, oh, so that's what we own. And you know how Nicki is. Nicki just responds. She don't even waste time. Nicki just acts, reacts, and says things and do things. So when she see that, she starts seeing that Cardi B and her, they got a little friction, and here's Beyonce putting her arm around Cardi B. She was like, oh, this is supposed to be my girl.
Cardi B took the whole summer. So what's the point? I mean, it's like she was hot. She had the hot song for the summer, the Bodak Yellow, and she was at the fest, even though it was raining. The fest went off without a hitch. She came everywhere and, you know, came out. She was there with what's her name?
I don't know. Tell me, Cena.
What was that name? Angela Yee. She was out there. She met Angela Yee at the fest. Even though it rained, they had the little umbrellas and shade up, and Beyonce was out there, and she came out there and got a chance to take a picture and meet up with Beyonce, and she was just happy. So for her to come as far as she did, you know, it just meant a lot to her. So this is a girl that was sliding down a pole. You know, not too long ago, she was sliding down poles, and look where she's at now.
Yep.
And Nicki has basically 45 feature songs out, and not one of them is a Bodak Yellow. I mean, really, it's just Cardi B took the whole summer. Get on your job. If you're Nicki Minaj, if you salty over that, get on your job. I mean, take your spot back on the mic. If you feel like you need to prove yourself.
So, as you can see, that was 2017. So in 2017, that's where the attitude was. That's where everything was going and working itself towards. You know, and that's where the mindset was when Cardi B just got there. Cardi B just was blowing up. Her album was getting ready to drop. She was burning up everything. Like anything in her path was getting just eviscerated. So now things change. The more things slow down, the more things start to evolve and start to change. So what we noticed was it only took 3 years later, but through that 3-year process, Cardi B is going through a whole growth stage. So she's going to do her thing, and now Nicki Minaj is this new artist that came out of nowhere with the Tina Snow project. So now that the Tina Snow project is hot and got some songs, Nicki goes out and do a song with her. So her and Megan is doing songs. Her and Meg Thee Stallion. And her and Meg is cool. Then all of a sudden, there's this drawback because Meg was, oh, you my Nicki, I looked up to you. You was the one who got it started for me. So next thing you know, all these different events were going down behind the scenes. Red carpet events. Nicki wasn't allowed. Like she was being met with resistance. People from like that worked at award shows was bashing her on social media. They were starting rumors about her, saying that she's on drugs, she's doing all of these things was coming out of everywhere, and it was a big media machine. They were on TikTok, using TikToks to make fun of Nicki Minaj. It was all a big scam, or not a scam, but a scheme to embarrass and lower the value of Nicki, and by going in heavy and promoting another female artist over her. So they were all about promoting Cardi B. Why? Because Beyonce was sick and tired of Nicki Minaj's attitude. Nicki had fully bought into like she's the queen bee. You ain't finna talk to her any kind of way, and you ain't gonna tell her what to do. She don't work for you. And how dare you mention her name on the song dissing Remy Ma? She was like, don't use. Jay told you, he was like, Nicki, don't use B for that. You know, don't name drop her in that. You know, she don't no beef with anybody. You know, like she ain't with that. She's not a rapper. You know, don't use B for that. And it was okay, Hov. So I remember those times. I remember that. Now, what got Beyonce hot is that she was staying away from you. Nicki was doing a lot of self-destructive things. She was going at it with basically Meek Mill, and she at this point had not started really going in on what happened in the past, but she was really pretty peeved and know where all of the discord and the heat was coming from. It was coming from mostly Meek's side and, you know, Rock Nation. So she knowing all the people who's involved, who's been sabotaging her from certain appearances, certain features, her songs are not being awarded or getting nominations, even though it was on the charts. Next thing you know, it's off the charts. They couldn't get songs cleared. It's a lot of red tape and a lot of stress for an artist who's like producing their own music and they sabotaging release dates. Beyonce and Jay got power. And when you try to fight power, you gotta be ready. You know, you got some fame. They got power. And that's, man, it's a whole different experience when you're going up against power. And you're going into the people who believe they're super important, who about 20 years ago would never be doing the stuff they're doing right now. And y'all think it's Jay. Y'all be thinking it's Jay. Like Jay-Z is the one that's pulling the strings and making this happen. Oh no, that's Queen B. This is Queen B all day. Especially after they did a remix to a Cardi B song. Not a Cardi B record, but Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion, this whole thing went left once Meg signed with Jay. When she signed with Jay-Z and Rock Nation, all hell broke loose for Nicki. It's like, oh, they finna replace me with my homie, my bestie, who didn't even tell me she was gonna sign with them. Now, not only that, she doesn't answer any of Nicki's phone calls or DMs or texts or whatever. Like, what the hell? And then she said something cryptic to Nicki. Then, not only that, the Savage remix has Beyonce on it. The hottest song on TikTok and everything. I'm a Savage. Now has Beyonce Knows on the song, or Beyonce Knows Carter. She is on the record on the remix. And it seems like she's taking shots at Nicki Minaj. And all hell breaks loose because that's all people said is Beyonce's taking shots at Nicki Minaj on the remix. And it did not help she didn't embrace Cardi. Because Cardi had all this momentum and then it made Nicki look like the complete, straight up, ultimate hater, jealous chick of the young girl coming up. So, it put her in a different space mentally, you know. So a lot of opportunities weren't there, you know. Things was going a little left, and Beyonce decided, her and her team and her people allegedly decided that Nicki Minaj was no longer relevant or needed. And there's a lot of people that Nicki, you know, aggravated or treated wrong during her rise, whether makeup or artist assistants, productions assistant, or what have you. She was bossy, demanding, talk people like they trash. And she was just snap on anybody she felt was treating her in demand. Like, if y'all being unreasonable, she ain't gonna give a F. So that was just that. Now, once this remix come out, right, all hell breaks loose. But oh baby, no one knew it was this bad. Wow. In case you guys haven't been hearing, it's been kind of on. And it seems like it's kind of been on, and it's some stuff happening behind the scenes that we didn't know too much about, that I think somebody feels a certain kind of way. Now, Megan did a song with Nicki, and Megan and Nicki are really cool. You know, and Megan has done this deal now with Jay-Z, and I think maybe, you know, she probably, I don't know this for fact, don't hold it over my head, because I don't know for fact. I'm just saying, there was probably a situation where Nicki wanted something done for Megan and she couldn't do it, and all of a sudden Beyonce probably blocked it, and then she got on the track of Savage. And it's a lot of back story that's going on that we don't know about. That could happen. Sino don't know it all yet, because Sino hasn't really cared. To be honest, I haven't really cared about the Savage remake, nothing. So I haven't even explored to ask to go down that avenue. So now that we know this, what more do we have cooking? What else is in the oven? Well, Beyonce did her song, and I guess Nicki took some offense to it, as if it was about her. Now, Beyonce did that Savage remix, and then she was like, if you want some real A, baby, here's your chance. And when she said that line, a lot of people assume the Say So line is Nicki's response on the Doja Cat remix. You know, it's wow. Yeah, it was something, you know. She was like, why you talking about whose body's fake? With all them filters in your face, you just full of hate. That real A ain't keeping your Negro home. Now you looking silly. That's word to silicone. Powerful. Now,
I'm gonna have to give her props. I ain't for real. Because, like I said, Beyonce secretly has ended the careers of many people. And not only did she do that, she did not only end the careers of many people, Beyonce made sure that you were so eviscerated, there was nothing you could do to her because she's going to take that energy and ride it so she rides the way to the top. Yeah. Well, you gotta understand a few things. Beyonce is who she is because of what she does, the work, the effort, all the stuff she's done, social media, her media team. You heard Azalea Banks even mention it and say that, this thing was, a real thing. So, you got an issue, a situation, or whatever. Some people that's supposed to be your brother or sister. Women are supposed to talk things out. There's no talking to Beyonce on this. When she make up her mind, she's going ham. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, after that, it was really on. You came back with a diss record for the Queen, Beyonce. Oh, she was done. So now you got Cardi B comes out with WAP, and when WAP hit, a smash hit. They play it all summer. Nicki can't get any traction. I mean, where you want to go? Where do you want to take that? Smash hit. So after this fight, she's mad because she really wanted Jay to manage her. And the fact that Jay is just sitting back not doing anything, that was speaking volumes as well. So she talked about Desiree Perez and all the people that was aligned, who just happened to be aligned with Rock Nation. With Scandal, you got somebody working there that was, in a drug bust when they were 25. They can't do that now until they're 21. Mm-hmm. We all put ourselves in a predicament that don't really seem comfortable to us, or we seem like we have our own voice, and somebody comes in with sabotage. We try to say, no matter what you do, we're always going to be that little guy under us. We want to let you know they got a boot on the throat. Let's look at this realistically. Every time you turn around, you start to see that there's a pattern that's off. And when you see a pattern that's off,
you normally gravitate to the facts versus, fan fiction. Nicki has been taking jabs at Beyonce, not Jay. Beyonce. She had a one rhyme. She was talking about people was asking her why she ain't beat Beyonce. She need to try to beat Beyonce. She's like, my mama, she said, my daddy wasn't a businessman. And my mama didn't own a store, fashion store. She's like, what an idiot. She's been taking shots at Beyonce all through the whole process. So now that Jay is representing Megan, and he got Meg Thee Stallion, and Roc Nation signed her to a deal, all of a sudden, now that this WAP comes out with Cardi B, and she was like, oh, you gonna go over there and do a song with Cardi? She's made Megan her enemy. All because Megan was on top. Now you got Lotto, you got who else? You got the other chick, what's her name? Ice Spice. You got all these people coming out. Ice Spice is sworn up and down. She's a Nicki person. Nicki, my girl. That ain't gonna get you nowhere. That's gonna get you to the unemployment line. Everybody that's been with her then fell off. Ariana Grande, all of them. That's my girl, Nicki. She'll lead you down the road of destruction. It's not gonna go well for you. So you might want to sit that one out. Just giving some advice. These people were not designed to be in the same room together. So it's almost sad to see, you have a scenario where you got people that don't deserve or should be around each other. They're on two different plateaus, but Roc Nation and their team has spent a lot of time going after, Nicki Minaj. Right now, Beyonce comes out and crushes Nicki Minaj, her whole release. All of a sudden, Beyonce album drops right around when Nicki is doing her thing. The Nicki tour comes out, she comes out and kills her momentum. Nicki had to get out there and get on the road. She got to make some money up. I don't know her financial situation, but things weren't good, for a while. Beyonce had dried the poop. She's mad at Roc Nation. She can't go after the people she really want to go after. And because you don't want to have the beehive on your back. So she can't really publicly go out and say what the problem is. Because, even though she's got her barbs or whatever, they ain't gonna mess with the beehive. And those people come in and, it's a whole nother thing. Well, when people make up their mind in life that, oh, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, you know, they should know there's a difference in how you approach things. There's a difference in how you move out here in these streets. She knows she messed up. Now, Nicki feels some kind of way because she was like, man, y'all backed Meek Mill and I played ball with y'all. Then y'all stopped my documentary from coming out called Nicki, the documentary, where she was finna air out, you know, Meek Mill. And she goes on, what's his name, Instagram, says that Meek slept with his sister and recorded it, spit on her and recorded it, then kicked her in front of his mama and sent his mother to the hospital. You know, which had everybody like, whoa. Now, this is messing up everything. You know, when it comes to, when it comes to when it comes to Meek Mill and they were doing the prison reform thing, and you know, this is a big thing, and it was like, okay, the whole levels are off. That's the way I see it. It's a little different. When you start looking at Nicki and Beyonce, and you start looking around and you start saying to yourself, like, one is phony, another one isn't, Nicki real. You got people out here that hold on to these labels and things. Now, we all know Beyonce. She is a product. She's a walking product placement, you know. And that's what people don't really see. Well, you know, hey, it is what it is. Beyonce is somebody that's gonna enhance herself. You know, now she's taking Erykah Badu look. You know, it's just like, how many times are you gonna keep saying this? We've seen it over and over again. See, you have no right, Nicki, to think that you were going to come back from that. You cannot say who you talking about whose body's fake with all them fillers in your face. You just full of hate. That's real it. She said, that real ass ain't keep your Negro at home. Now you looking silly. That's word to silicone. So when the lemonade situation, when the Becky with the good hair, you was rubbing that in her face. But you said Beyonce face is full of fillers? Woo! God! Did you think Beyonce didn't hear that or didn't know what was going on? When she got on that Savage remix, you knew what time it was. 100%. Oh yeah. You knew. You knew. Now, what's this? Look, countless people know already. This is not something that the fans don't know about. They know that this beef is led to the reason why Roc Nation's machine has been after Nicki. You don't mess with Beyonce, because then now Jay got to get active. He can't have nothing to do with you. And at the end of the day, that's where she want to be. Even Azalea Banks had brought it up. At the end of the day, that's where she wants to be. She wants Jay to be representing her. She wanted Roc Nation to be doing stuff for her. Not Meg Thee Stallion. They know what they doing, man. These people, you know, they know the situations. Now you look at it. Now Nicki back on the road. She got to be out there making it happen. You can't just sit in the house for years. So it is what it is, you know. I want to say shouts out to Kwame Brown Bus Life, Ticket TV, welcome to HDII TV, Mondo Black TV. Don't forget to go to the Patreon, and then you'll learn from the Patreon version of this, where we can get more in depth. And I can tell y'all something in a much shorter form, some things we done left out of this video. So, love, peace, and hair grease. And don't forget, like the video, share, subscribe. My Patreon is Carcino for life. My Cash App is Carcino. And I'm out the door. Y'all tell me if y'all have seen this in development and know that this beef has been going on for a while. Y'all let me know. I'm out.